Hey there, everybody. I am back from RetroWorld Expo. I have a bunch of stuff to show you that I got this year, so I'm going to go ahead and get started before long so this video doesn't take forever. So I'm going to fly through some stuff, and then I'll talk about some more things in detail. The first thing, this is another sealed PlayStation 2 controller. Now I have two of these. In my opinion, you can never have too many PlayStation 2 controllers because the analog sticks, at least in my experience, tend to go bad pretty quickly. So it's always good to have a spare or two PlayStation 2 controllers, especially with the number of games that I have. So I did pay a little bit more for this than I did the last one that I got at ConGo, but I know the people that are there, and we'll talk a little bit about convention pricing in just a minute. Okay, this next one I got as a gift for helping out with the expo this year. I was blown away by this. This was completely unexpected. I was ready to pay face value for this item. This is a Nintendo World Championships 1990 reproduction cartridge. That the Retro World Expo team gave to me for helping out with the show this year. This is something I've always wanted as someone who never went to the World Championships when they were close by in Hartford back in 1990. It was an idea of mine to run a Nintendo World Championships type event this year. We had about 34 people show up, so easily we had more than the 8 that we wanted to run the finals for. We had a great player by the name of Robin who, in the semifinals, wound up scoring well over 1,000,000 points. It was just blowing us away how well he played. When I tried, I didn't even break 200,000, so I suck. But it's really nice of Chris and Lance and Bill to give me this, especially Chris, who had bought this for the purposes of the tournament. And now, whenever we have the next one, hopefully next year, if we do the NWC thing again, I'll bring my copy. So very, very cool. I am so happy to own this, the NWC reproduction cart. If you haven't seen it, by the way, pull it out so you can take a look here. There it is. It does have the dip switches and everything. It is in. I like the purple myself. I think it's very cool looking. Not everyone does, but I do. And again, the main thing for me is I can actually play it now and get some practice in and hopefully beat my best score. We'll see. What else did I get? I got the last of the Tecmo Super Bowl games that I did not own for the Super Nintendo. This is Tecmo Super Bowl 2, which I did not own. I have the first and I have the third. It's really nice to have this series complete, and that's going to be kind of a theme a little bit later on for the big finale, but I don't want to give too much away. I did pay face value on this, which was $40, but again, being a convention, pricing is what it was, and I do want to talk about that, but not just yet. This here was something that I almost missed, and I'm glad that I didn't. This is Lethal Enforcers 2 Gunfighters for the Sega CD. I have the first Lethal Enforcers game, but I didn't have the sequel. And this is in rather good shape. The little foam thing isn't in there, but the disc is in good shape, and it's just nice to have. My Sega CD library has slowly but surely been working its way forward, and I thought this was a nice pickup. And speaking of Sega CD, I picked this up as well. This is Time Gal for the Sega CD, a full motion video game. And if you know me, you know that full motion video is my thing. And it did come with a manual as well. Time Gal, like Dragon's Lair or Space Ace, is figure out which way to tilt the controller or the D-pad or press the button in order to advance through the story. Always wanted to own this when it was new for the Sega CD and never owned it, then heard about it in random places. AVGN talked about it. I believe GameSack talked about it. And now I can say that I finally own it, so I'm very, very happy about that. So a pair of Sega CD games, not bad, right? This here is a game called Kix Neo for the original PlayStation. Kix was an arcade game from Taito, and this was also developed by them. But this is new for the PlayStation. It looks like the graphics are a little bit improved. I never played this, but I knew it was out there. And what's interesting to me is that on the back, you not only see Taito's name, but also ZeniMax's game and Mad Duck Software. So I thought that was pretty neat. Disc is in good shape. And it is Mad Duck Software, so it's a little weird, but that's okay. Being an arcade game, I wanted to own it. How are we doing? 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. This one was a little bit of a big purchase, but I have a story behind it. This here is Street Fighter EX2 Plus for the PlayStation, a game that I have tried repeatedly to buy from GameStop. I tried to buy it twice, and both times that I bought it, the disc was bad. It was a loose disc only. I've wanted the game for a while because the Street Fighter EX games are favorites of mine. I still have my copy of EX Plus Alpha that I bought back in '97 or whatever year it was. And I have Street Fighter EX3, so this was the one that I had been missing. And when I took a look at it at the particular booth that I bought it at, the disc is just in pristine condition. I'm not going to take it out of the case because I'll probably drop it. But everything's here. The manual's here. It's in good shape. The disc is in good shape. And now I finally own it. I'm very happy about that. So that completes my little EX trilogy, which is really neat. And I believe that Eureka is going to be coming out with another EX fighting game for the PlayStation 4 next year. So that's kind of exciting, at least to me. Moving right along here, kind of like the Muppet Show. This is a long box version of Tekken for the PlayStation, which came out in 1995. I have not tried this yet. I'm hoping that the disc is in good shape. The past two copies of Tekken that I've bought for about $10 a piece, the disc skipped a little bit in my PlayStation, so I'm hoping that I have better luck with this, but I did not have a long box copy, and even though the hinge is busted, the manual is still here, and I think that that's pretty cool, and that adds to my tower of long box games, so I thought that this was a pretty cool find, and $15 on the side here, that's not what I paid. I got a $3 discount on it. Not the biggest discount, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to move to PlayStation 2 games. I have not collected PS2 for a little while because I have 800 plus games. I really haven't had a lot that I've been looking for. The games that I have been looking for, I've been looking to kind of finish. For example, if I have a loose disc, I'm trying to get the manual in the box for it if I possibly can. This was one of those situations. This is Final Fight Streetwise for the PlayStation from 2006. This does have the disc and the manual on the inside. The disc is in slightly better shape than the disc that I have now, so now I'm going to have a loose disc that I may use for trade bait if someone wants it, or just to hold on to for a backup copy. Speaking of replacing discs that weren't in good shape, this is the first Xenosaga, Episode 1. I'm not going to try and pronounce the German because I will screw it up. When I got this originally, the disc that I have has a big gouge through the center. I didn't play it long enough to see whether the gouge was going to affect gameplay or not, but this particular disc that I have here is in great shape, and the manual and everything is here. Even the seal at the top that says Xenosaga is still there. Not that that's a big deal, but still I thought that this was a pretty cool find, and it gives me one that I know is going to work, so that's really cool. So, two games that I already have, so let's get to games that I don't, right? Yeah, okay. So this I didn't have. I actually bought the first game in this series from GameStop. I didn't get the full complete in box version, but I did get just the disc only, and I wanted to get the sequel. This is Jade Cocoon 2 for the PS2. This was released in 2001 from Genki Entertainment. And this has everything in it, although the case is a little shot, and I know you can't really see it too well on the camera there. The manual is still here, and also, not that that's a big deal, there's also this really neat buy two, get one free. You could buy Grandia 2, The Legend of Alan Dar, or Jade Cocoon 2, and send in to get a free game. And it's nice to have that little insert in there. This I did pay face value for, which is $30. But again, I don't want to get too much into pricing really, just that I did pay face value for it. I'm going to skip my last PlayStation 2 game. I'm going to show you the one GameCube game I picked up. This was something that I wanted because I haven't been able to find the Dreamcast original. This is Virtua Striker 2002 for the GameCube, based on Virtua Striker for the Dreamcast. Everything is here, the manual, the disc. The disc is in good shape. I did pay face value on this. I'm a big sports video game fan, although soccer is not really my thing, or football, not really my thing. But this particular game, because of its arcade roots, I did want to own in my collection, and I've had this game circled as a want-to-find game for quite some time, so now I actually own it. So that's very, very awesome. Very happy about that. So before I get to my big game, I do want to take just a minute or two to talk about convention pricing, because it's something that tends to tick people off if they don't know what to expect. When you go to a convention, you go to a video game convention, you're going to have vendors there that are going to be selling video games. They know what their audience is. They know they're going to be collectors there looking for games to add to their collection or possibly finish their collections, like we had happen this year. A gentleman got the last game in his NES library at our show, which I thought was great. So you're going to have collectors there. You're going to have people looking to start a collection or start a library or get a system to start collecting for at the show. And these people are going to pay market value. They are not necessarily going to be at the show looking for flea market pricing. And to be quite honest, if you're going to have a table or a booth at a convention, you have to pay for that space. You have to pay for that space. You have to pay for parking. You have to pay the people who are manning your booth, yourself included. And these are all overhead costs. And this is a business. It's not something that you're there to give the games away. So you have to go into conventions expecting that you're going to spend money. Maybe not a lot of money if you want to rein your budget in, but you're going to be spending money at some way, shape, or form. Now, if you're able to hold off until towards the very end of the convention, especially for more common titles, you may be able to get better deals, but not all the time. So it's just kind of something to keep in mind. Convention staff really doesn't have any pull over how much vendors charge for their prices, but I can tell you, from my experience at RetroWorld Expo this year, completely as a guy who spent money, the prices were fair. I checked the pricing against price charting, and they were pretty much right in line with what's expected. You don't have to worry about shipping, and you get to check out the stuff right there on site, and I thought that that was a pretty big deal. Now, this game that I'm going to show you is a big deal to me. This was the one game that I've been missing, the one disc that I've been missing out of this series, and I've been missing it for a long time. I started to collect these games again in 2011. I started to collect these games when GameStop started to phase out their PlayStation 2 libraries. And I got the first, second, and third games for pretty cheap. Not all of them were complete, but that's okay because I wanted the discs. I wanted to play the series again. But the fourth game in the series was just prohibitive. I kept waiting for the price to come down, and it never did. This time, I finally got sick of waiting, and it was the last 45 minutes of the show, and I went over to the booth that I had seen it at earlier, and it was still there, and I finally decided I was going to pull the trigger. That game is Dot Hack Part 4 Quarantine. This game, if you collect RPGs at all, you probably understand that this game is valuable, especially complete. And that's what this is. This has, and I'll try and show you on camera here. Sorry about the lighting, guys. It has the DVD for liminality that comes with it, as well as the Dot Hack disc, and the manual is just immaculate. This game is worth, complete, it's worth about $130 on the open marketplace. That's just how it is. I was fortunate enough, because I was paying with cash and because I had waited to the last minute, I got a little bit of a discount on this, and I paid $120. Some may think that's too high for one game, and I get that. For me, I wanted to have this because I wanted to complete the library. I wanted to complete the set. I wanted to complete the series so I can start playing from episode 1 forward. One of the things that's prohibited me from starting to play from Infection all the way through is that I knew that I didn't have episode 4, and that's really where everything culminates. And Dot Hack, of course, is coming back into prominence because Bandai Namco is remastering the GU games, and that's going to be coming out very shortly in like a month. So Dot Hack is kind of at the forefront in my mind. And when I'm not spending time writing sports game reviews for a certain Super Nintendo guidebook, this is a series that I want to get back into, and this was the missing link. So now I can say that I actually own it, and that means a lot to me. I know that I paid a lot of money, but sometimes in order to just end the chase, to end the hunt, you just have to kind of bite the bullet and do it. I had the extra funds. I had been saving money for a while, and it was time for me to do it. So that's exactly what I did. So now I have all of the Dot Hack games, the original ones, and .gu. So I'm very, very, very happy about that. Just a couple of other things to show really quickly, and I'm going to show them en masse. I'm not going to show you bit by bit. I got a great deal on Nintendo Power back issues. These were just a couple of dollars a piece. Again, I got these toward the very end because that's when I had the time to actually get on the floor and start looking around. And I'm very excited about these. I don't even know whether they're copies that I own or not, but I have, let's see, how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that I got, and I got a really good deal on it. I got the 9 Nintendo Power magazines for just $20. So I really can't complain about that. I also got, and I'm not going to show it on camera because I'm running late, I also got a Lunar Silver Star Story Complete Unauthorized Prima Strategy Guide. I got that for $10 as well. So I spent a lot of money at this convention. I knew that I was going to spend a lot of the money at this convention going in, between parking because I was going to be there for 2 nights, 3 days, food, which of course at a convention is going to be expensive anyway, and just other expenses, and then all the things that I got for myself. I knew it was going to be expensive, but it is my big getaway. It is my big vacation for the year, and so I did splurge just a little bit. So that is what I got at RetroWorld Expo 2017 this year. It was a blast to be a part of. I was certainly very busy. I didn't spend as much time on the floor as I wanted, and we do have a lot to take into account and to try and work on to get better for next year. But we certainly will do that, and we're looking forward to that challenge after we take a little bit of time off to get our batteries recharged. Thanks very much to all the vendors, all the guests, all the people that were just so awesome to me over this past weekend. I cannot name all the names on camera because there are just way too many. Being my first year as social media manager, community manager, I certainly learned a lot. And it was nice getting compliments from people on the floor telling me what a good job I did, because honestly, I was flying by the seat of my pants a lot and kind of learning on the fly. And I think that's one of the best ways to learn, is just to get your hands dirty and do it. So we'll see what happens for the rest of 2017 into 2018. So I know I haven't made a lot of videos lately. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just going to tell you, between working on RWX and working on a Super Nintendo guidebook and teaching full-time, my plate is just very full. So I will make videos when time allows. You have my word, or especially during times like this when I just get a lot of stuff at once and I want to be able to show it off. I hope you enjoyed this. If I got to see you at RWX, I hope I had a chance to say hi to you. Special thanks, by the way, to Pat the NES Punk, Norm the Gaming Historian, Pixel Dan, the Game Chasers, Billy and Jay. My God, Billy and Jay are just tremendous people. I got to spend more time with them at this convention, especially today, than I've gotten to spend at the last few, and getting to talk to those guys, just it means the world. Being big fans of theirs and Pat's and Norm's, being in their presence is just, and trying not to fanboy out because they've been such a big influence, was really, really cool. Thanks again to Chris and Lance and Bill for letting me be a part of such a really, really cool event. That's it for me. My voice is shot. I'm going to end this video here. Certainly leave comments and reactions below. And until the next time, my friends, take good care.